Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to be here again. I came several times. And in fact, I was first time in India about 25, 30 years ago to meet the first little manufacturers of solar cells and solar modules when it started the whole thing. Now, I'm honored. I'm a Swiss citizen to talk about Indian industry, but I can give you a little background and an overview what kind of industry we have in the solar field. Well, the sun delivers, as you all know, 10,000 times the energy we need on the Earth every day. So it's really the prime energy source, not only for solar direct energy, but also for biomass, which is produced from solar, and it's finally moving also the clouds to make hydropower, etc. Now, the reason why they might have selected me as chairman here is that Switzerland was a pioneer in solar energy. Nobel Prize laureate Albert Einstein defined before the war the photons, and he got the Nobel Prize for it at ETH, our prime technical university in Zurich. We invented solar roof integration in Switzerland. We were the first ones who integrated solar modules in the roofs by architects. I think we built the first solar boats, and as you know, we built one of the biggest and maybe one of the first solar planes, which is now in Honolulu and waiting to cross the Pacific to California, which was also built and developed in Switzerland. We pioneered wafering technique, that means wafering by wires to wafer the ingots to make cells. This was also a Swiss pioneering effort. We invented the multi-layer PV cells, and interesting enough by Arvind Shaw, an Indian professor in Neuchâtel, who pioneered the multi-layering. Well, it was just announced that Tata sponsored again with $10 million Fleesom in Zurich for the thin film white band solar cells developed by an Indian professor, again, in Switzerland. Well, we had the first solar racing competitions in Switzerland, the solar cars. And once we had the first prize in Australia for the solar car, which was covered by PV cells, of course. And we also pioneered the hybrid solar system, which is a combination of PV and hot water production. Now, I tried to be brief because we have to catch up with time, but we can distinguish 4 solar industry segments. First of all, of course, the solar collectors. You probably heard of Solar Heart in Australia. I think they were one of the pioneers. But I saw solar collectors in India 30 years ago, in China, by farmers many decades ago. This was probably the first kind of solar industry, small manufacturers. Also in Switzerland, the vacuum system, for instance, was pioneered there. And Sweden developed new systems. But the biggest producers are, as always, China. But very important also India. I think Tata started with solar collectors before they took over VP Solar. So they were pioneers in that field also. So that's the solar collectors, which is a good idea because you don't have to burn gas or coal to make hot water. You have a cheap and a source forever. Now, of course, PV. And funny enough, with a lot of PP equipment, manufacturing equipment from Switzerland and Germany, which was exported then to China in a big way, making China the biggest PV producer of the world, but also to India. And now my hope here in this segment is that India will catch up with China. When I started to look at solar energy, PV, for instance, the world production capacity 25, 30 years ago was about 30, 50 megawatt worldwide. Today, we have manufacturers in China. I think we will have a speaker of China who can explain this. We have manufacturing capacities of one single company of 1 gigawatt, 2 gigawatt per year, just one company. So this was a revolution. Now, also solar concentration power, also thermal solar power systems were also pioneered in Switzerland, among others. And the first project was installed in the Mojave Desert in California 30 years ago by a German glass company called Flachglas and by Israeli investors who put up the system and still running since 30 years in the Mojave Desert. This was the pioneer for the solar thermal system. Becoming a big industry also, I think also in India here and in Spain, and with a big hope that it will be competitive with PV, because PV now, I remember when a PV module was about $10 per watt. Now it's, because of the Chinese, probably also below $1 watt, which is frightening for the competition. Germany went bankrupt on solar modules. All the companies disappeared except one, went to Korea or to China. So it's a tough competition and a very tough business now, the PV business. I hope India can catch up. I think you have a big chance. You have still relatively reasonable labor cost. You have good engineers. You have a big market and a good new prime minister who is promoting now solar energy at large in a big way. Well, the hybrid systems I mentioned was pioneered in Switzerland, but in Switzerland we are too expensive. We can't produce anything anymore. So we hope that India will take the lead also for hybrid, which produces hot water and electricity at the same time, decentralized, so the house can provide all the energy it needs just from one system on the roof. Now, a very important point, we discussed it in our board meeting yesterday. Of course, we need energy storage. Solar energy is only in midday, the peak, nothing at night, and nothing when we have clouds in Switzerland. We have lots of clouds. So that's a requirement. And I think along with the solar industry, we should have an energy storage industry in a big way, I was at Intersolar in Munich a few months ago. There was a huge building full of solar storage companies. I think that's a big task also for India. I think we hear a speaker tomorrow on this from Siemens. So that's this going along with the solar industry. We need a solar storage battery industry as well. Now, to be competitive, money is the name of the game. And to be competitive, we need more professional industrial engineers to do value analysis, to optimize the processes, to bring down the cost, mass production, but also quality. Low cost and quality is needed. For this, we need more industrial engineers. And this is a call to all of you to take it seriously, to optimize cost, improve quality. So, to sum up, competition is the name of the game. It's fantastic that the solar industry became mainstream, as we call it. It's really mainstream, with billions of investments and billions of turnover, including the Americans who also play here a game in Asia. So that's the name of the game. So optimize these systems, continue development, and bring down the cost. And in fact, solar energy now is competitive with all other options. Just to give you an example, if you produce a solar module for less than $1, a nuclear power plant is 10 times more and still being built. And this should be an appeal to your Prime Minister, stop nuclear power, which is 10 times the cost of solar energy. Okay, space load, fine, but solar energy combined with batteries might be might be a fifth of nuclear energy. So that's really an appeal to all of you, to the politicians. Stop the madness of nuclear power, which was polluting the whole Pacific is radioactive because of Fukushima. It's irresponsible, and we should really go for solar energy and all the other renewables. And the solar energy has a chance because it's already the most competitive energy source. Thank you.